Oh, I've been talking and nobody heard me. So, welcome to the SRS call. My name's Frank Euphemia. Before we get moving, please pick up your phones and shoot a text out really quick to everybody you know that's at Family First Life, or maybe they're not at Family First Life yet, but you want them here, shoot them a text and let them get on this call because Dylan is going to absolutely shred this. Annuities will save you in this business. I promise you, if you just ask the question every single appointment, what do you have that acts like life insurance? It will change the game for you once you understand how this all works. And it doesn't take much. And Dylan is one of the best we have at explaining this stuff. He's a beast. He understands it. And he writes a ton of annuities, to be honest with you. So, that being said, Dylan, do I have you on, buddy?
Yep, I'm right here. How's it going?
I'm good. How are you, man?
I'm doing great. Blessed to be here. Thank
Man,
you.
fantastic. All right. I'm going to turn it over to you. If you need me, I'll be here, but I'm muted out. Nobody can unmute, FYI. So if you want them to ask questions at the end, you can do that. That's fine. Just have them type them in the chat and I can read them out loud to you.
Cool. Sounds good. Appreciate it. So I'm here to talk about how annuities can help supplement your business and why it's so important. So first, if you're only talking about life insurance, you're leaving your clients and your own commissions unprotected. So annuities are the retirement safety net for most clients, and they don't know they need it until it's basically too late, right? So we're not just selling protection and when they die, but we're building confidence in how they live. So the reason why annuities are so important to supplement income is they're not just an add-on, they're a second income stream. So while life insurance may protect you once, annuities can generate thousands of commissions from a single conversation, especially with larger premium rollovers from like 401ks, CDs, or savings. Plus, life insurance protects families if the in the future, but annuities protect clients and build your business right now. And so what I mean by that is like our client conversations can easily double your payout and deepen your relationship for future referrals because they trust you and we built that trust. Now, I want to give you a little bit of how I start the conversations as well with most of my clients when I'm going through the presentation. But I start my calls with most individuals are either looking for protection, cash value growth, or maybe they're looking for something else and asking what is it for them. So I have them open up themselves to me. They tell me exactly kind of what they're looking for, and 9 times out of 10, they're looking for a combination of all 3, right? Not just protection, not just, you know, to make sure your family's taken care of, but to make sure there's also some cash growing, since I do primarily a lot of IULs. And then I go through my presentation, I explain, and ask them about 401k. So I go, "Hey, are you familiar with a 401k or an IRA?" And if they say yes, I just go, "Great. Are you currently getting a match from your employer?" And I ask them a little bit more detailed questions so I can see if they're getting a match that I know it's, not going to be able to roll over right away because they're already in it with their employer. Or if they're not getting a match, I go, "Hey, how come you're not getting a match? Does your employer not offer it, or is it no longer with the employee?" I'm just more so taking that information and putting it on the side, right? And that way they're going into more of explaining of how, sorry, I take that information, put it on the side so I can circle back around to it. Then I just take what they say and move into explain the difference between a 401k and either a fixed index annuity or an IUL. So like I go over briefly like, hey, this protects you from market drops. It gives you a guaranteed pension for life. Think of it exactly like your 401k, only with a guarantee to not lose any money. You get income for life. Retirement is paid out if something happens to you, tax-free and penalty-free while avoiding probate. So if like something happens to your client, instead of them going through probate and then their family has to wait, 12 months to get access to their husband's retirement, they don't have to do that. It gets paid out as a life insurance policy. And then they also get, up to a 20% bonus for just protecting their retirement, which is free money, which is why would no one would want to help their family with some free money, right? And then a good transition if you're in the presentation and once you close and earn that trust with your client on those final expenses, to saying, hey, no, Mr. and Mrs. Client, since we're already making sure your family is protected, if something was to happen to you, can I show you just a great way to protect your income and if you live too long? And then that opens up the conversation for you to go a little bit deeper into the annuities section. That's basically kind of what I have in a simple way. So I didn't want to go too deep, so does anyone have any questions or anything like that you want to throw in the chat or?
I'll ask the first question because the
Yeah.
every now and again it takes people a minute to ask questions. All right, so you actually can we do a little role play?
Yeah, let's do it. I do
All right,
mostly
perfect.
IEL leads, so if you want to do that, we can do top to bottom on that.
Yeah, let's do that because I think it and listen, if you're not writing IULs, it's the same word tracks, just you're writing a different policy. So you can change the when he goes into details about his IUL stuff, you're going into details about your mortgage protection or your final expense, but the certain word tracks for uncovering the annuities won't change no matter what you're selling. So all right, let's do that because I think that'd be super helpful.
Cool. Yeah, let's do it. So, hey, Frank, this is Dylan from One Up Financial. You questioned some information about IULs designed for truckers. Did I catch you at a bad time? Did I?
No, I have a few minutes.
Okay, cool. So just to kind of set some expectations for you, today's call is going to be super quick, 10, 12 minutes. Here's the kind of the game plan. I'll give you a clear understanding of what this is about, IULs and without any jargon. I'll ask you a couple quick questions, see if this even makes sense for you. And if everything lines up, I'll show you some real numbers, personalize it for your situation right on my screen. Sound good?
Sounds good to me.
Excellent. So tell me a little bit, what got you interested in IUL to begin with?
Well, I mean, I saw some stuff online about tax something about it being tax free and being able to save money and potentially use that as a retirement because I don't I'm a truck driver. I don't have like a company that gives me a 401k or anything.
Sure, no 401k. Totally get that. So before I go deeper though, Frank, do you mind if I just ask you a little bit, what do you know about 401ks besides what you just told me so I can fill in the blanks for you?
Yeah, I mean, I know it's like a retirement plan that employees employers give their employees or have the option for their employees to have, and you put
Sure.
money into it, and I guess it grows or it doesn't grow, right?
Yeah, no, absolutely. Do you mind if I just fill in the blanks for you a little bit, Frank, just so you have the full picture?
Sure.
Excellent. So first and foremost, this is called an investment grade life insurance policy, not just an investment. I point that out just because if it was an investment, Uncle Sam could tax it. And if there was also, if it were just a life insurance, there wouldn't be any like wealth building benefits, right? So with this strategy, your money grows safely, no matter, with no market risk. You get a death benefit from day one, so it protects your family. But you also have living benefits. So in case you become, seriously ill, injured, disabled, heart attack, stroke, or more, you could tap into this living benefit while you're still alive. And you can also build a tax retirement money and legacy wealth with this. Would you agree that avoiding losses is just as important as the gains?
For sure.
Yeah. Now, let me show you a little bit what that looks like here. So, have you ever contributed to a 401k or an IRA before?
Um, I had a 401k, you know, before I became a truck driver.
Okay. So no worries. So that way you're probably not getting a match. But then you obviously know that when the market goes up, you make money, but when it goes down, you lose money, right?
Correct.
Yeah. So just imagine the scenario with me real quick. Just walk through it with me. Let's say you had 100,000 in a 401k and the market drops 10%. How much do you have?
90,000,
Yep. Now the next year, the market rebounds 10%. How much do you have now?
100,000.
Well, actually, 10% of 90 is 9,000. So you've actually only have 99,000. Still a little short of where we started. But let's
Makes
look at the
sense.
IUL. Let's say you had the same 100K in the IUL. Market drops 10%. You're protected. Still have 100K, right?
Yeah, I guess if it's protected.
Yep. Now, if the market rebounds 10% from that 100K, where are you at now?
110.
Yep. That's an $11,000 swing just from not losing any money to begin with. Now, do you know who Warren Buffett is and his top two rules of investing?
I know who he is. I do not know what his top two rules of investing are.
No worries. Well, hey, rule number one is never lose money, and rule number two is always refer back to rule number one. because if you protect your money, you can't lose, right?
Yeah, it makes sense. I guess that's why he's the richest guy in the world.
Yep, yep, exactly. And quick question, have you or someone you ever had, tried taking money out of her 401k early before 59?
Well, I did. I took when I left and started being a truck driver. I took my money.
Right. That's totally gets that. That makes sense. Sometimes you might have some little extra, but then you probably pay the taxes and penalties on that, huh?
I did. Actually, you know what? Let me change that answer for this purposes. I forgot we're in
Sure.
an annuity trade. Yeah, I did. I took some at when I left my job and became a trucker. I took some of it out to live off of until I got my first, gig as a truck driver, I guess.
Okay. Cool. Is that still just kind of sitting there on the side then, just, trying to
Yeah.
still live off of it?
I mean, no, I haven't touched. I took money out one time and I got, penalized, so I didn't haven't taken any more. It is just sitting there though.
Okay. No worries. So let's just say you have some kind of financial emergency, coming up in the future, or maybe you change jobs again, right? Instead of draining your 401k and triggering those taxes, instead just pull from your IUL, and that way your retirement stays safe and intact. Also, do you remember 2008 crash or like even when
Yeah,
2020 hit? It's pretty crazy, right?
for sure.
Now, most people like myself lost 30, 50% in retirement overnight. A friend of mine, right, her grandparents were about to retire with about a million in the accounts. Then all of a sudden they had about 600K, and that was the reality. With an IUL, though, it's a little different. So the year the market tanks, you'll just pull from your IUL instead, not your 401k. Let that 401k recover and then resume pulling it when it's back up. That's how you protect your nest egg. Does that sound
Okay,
like something that could give you some peace of mind there?
for sure.
Cool. So let's talk numbers real quick. So your goal is not to buy a whole bunch of life insurance, right? It's to create wealth, protect your future, make sure you have that income coming up, right?
Yeah, I mean, obviously, life insurance is not a bad thing, but I need to start getting serious about having money for when I decide I want to stop driving a truck.
Sure. Definitely understand that. So let's go into that. So based on everything that we're talking about, we want to make sure it's going to be realistic for you, not theoretical. So
Okay.
type month when the minimum you could set up, like what's the minimum you can see yourself setting aside and tires falling off the car, knowing that you're putting into your retirement?
Um, I mean, I minimum 500.
Hmm. Okay. And
Is
on
that
a good
good?
month, yeah, it's pretty decent. Most of our clients, it's bas basically it's made to be customized to you because we want to make sure it's not
Okay.
going to cause any financial stress or anything for you. So if that's the minimum, we'll leave it there. But on the flip side, when everything's going really well, what would be like the maximum, knowing the more you put into this, the more you're going to get out of it.
Easily 1500.
Okay. And we can't predict the future, obviously, but over the last year, how many months we're closer to the high and versus the low?
Um, well, I spend a lot of money on stupid stuff. So, I mean, I guess it could be 1500 10 months out of the year.
Okay.
I mean,
Do you see
I had to get some stuff done on the truck like a few months ago, which would have hurt a little bit. I mean, would it not hurt, but 1500 would have been a little tough there. Still probably doable though,
Sure. I get it. Being a business owner is pretty stressful, you have all those unexpected bills and labor you gotta pay, right?
for sure.
Yeah. So with that being said, do you see any lump sums coming in the next 2 years? Maybe paying off a credit card, tax return, bonuses?
I mean, tax returns, I'm not really don't get bonuses. It's just I'm an independent, I guess, subcontracting truck driver, so I pick up contracts here and there. Um, don't have much credit card debt, so I don't see much of a change.
Okay. No worries. And then the last step real quick is just so I can see what this may look like for you. I'll throw out some, a few quick health questions to make sure you can even get qualified for this. Is that,
Okay.
is that okay with you real quick?
Yeah, for sure.
Sweet. So what is your date of birth? And then we basically, so
Two
you
eleven
want to go through the
sixty
health
two.
questions too?
Actually, 211 80 81.
Okay. Do you want me to go through all the health questions, everything too?
Nah, I mean, just summarize.
So from there,
Explain
I
to them. You
basically
do
go
go in
through.
pretty deep, don't you?
Yeah, so from there, I go through that, and then do the presentation, and then once I sell the IUL or the final expense or whatever you're selling, because it's not just IUL to sell, I'll then pivot, and then I go, cool. So now, now that we got your covers taken care of here, just have curiosity, Frank. You said you had a 401k just kind of sitting there. What's your plan with that?
Dude, let's skip the health questions, but continue with this appointment for the IUL because this is gold.
Yeah,
We
that's what I'm
and then
here.
we'll have time to hit the annuity at the annuity stuff too. But
Okay.
this is
So
fire.
you want me to go through like the presentation where I group the numbers and
Yeah,
everything?
a
All right, cool,
hundred
cool,
percent.
cool.
I think that'd be great.
All right, yeah, let's do that. Let me pick back up here. So, hey, Frank, you've been great. Before we go into the next step, I just want to ask you, what part of what we went over today really stood out the most to you?
I like the 100 grand and the market going down and me not losing any of that.
And why do you feel like, this could be important for you to have in place, though?
Because I don't, nobody knows what's going to happen in the market. It's just so crazy over the last, seems like 15, 20 years that it's up and then it's down. I don't like that roller coaster. And the older I get, the more I guess I get more conservative with my money.
Sure, sure, totally get it. But like, but why now though? Like, why not just keep doing what you've been doing another few months?
I haven't done anything. You know what I mean, Dylan?
Mhm.
I'm not saving any money at all. I'm spending it, and I don't really need to be spending it. I just spend it because it's there.
Mhm.
And I'm getting older, and I don't want to do this for the rest of my life. I would like to be able to hang up the boots per se at some point in time.
Sure, totally understand that. Now, based on everything that we went over, and thank you for sharing that, by the way, it means a lot, and it sounds really important for you. But based on everything we went over and what you shared, I'm just going to map out three potential options for you. Let me just put you on a real brief hold, and let me come right back to that. Okay?
Okay. And before he does that, I want y'all to pay attention to what Dylan did with me. He asked me what I liked about this and what was important about it. And I gave him an answer, and it was kind of a surface level answer. And he goes, his BS alarm went off and goes, "That's BS. I need to go deeper than that." And can you explain to everybody why you didn't let me off the hook with me saying, "Oh, because I didn't like the fact that I don't lose. I like the fact I ain't losing any money."
Yeah, it's all psychology because no matter what happens, when you're asking a question, no matter where you're at, like my questions in the beginning, if you notice that were very surface level, I just want to get the conversation going. But now we're at this point where I'm about to go over options. I'm trying to judge where you're at in your mind with the value of this. But I know the first question I ask is not going to give me the true, real answer. So I look at everything like the brain as an onion. I peel back that first layer, it's a little bit
Mm-hmm.
nicer. Second layer question, you're getting a little bit further, but by that third, fourth, or fifth question, which you'll see me type back in here in a minute, I really get to the root of the problem and I'm getting that pain emotion come out. So that way they're in their mind about the cell themselves and why they need this and taking the resistance and the pressure off of me and putting the spotlight back on the client.
I love this, dude. I love that. That's phenomenal. Go ahead.
Thank you. And so when I go with the presentation, I'm just going to throw some random numbers in there because I usually just go with like illustration and stuff. So I'll go through like a final expense, how I would kind of pivot from that. So,
Okay.
all right, Frank. So based on, like I said, everything we went over, you shared, I mapped out three potential options for you. So
Okay.
first, do you have a pen and paper real quick?
Yep, I do.
Okay. I just want you to write down starter, comfort, and best on that paper. Let me know when you have that.
Starter, comfort, invest.
Yes, uh-huh.
Okay.
Perfect. So the starter, this is great protection, steady growth, which manageable monthly, still has all those living benefits, right? So in case you become, God forbid, critically, chronically, terminally disabled, Alzheimer's, stroke, or anything like that, it'll pay out while you're still alive, tax-free,
Okay.
penalty-free. That's going to be at the area where you said around 500 a month. That's going to give you a benefit of 350,000 from day one. Now, next is comfort. This is the balanced option, stronger protection, more cash for growth and flexibility. And this is going to be around 750 a month. And that's going to give you the same day one benefits, but it's going to be 400,000. And then the best, this is where you're maximizing as much as possible tax-free growth, those living benefits, the legacy wealth, built for the long haul, right? And this would be 1,000 a month, and this would give you an initial benefit of 450,000. Now, Frank, which of those three, though, do you feel like aligns best with your comfort and your goals, though?
Dude, honestly, I was thinking 1,000 the whole time.
Okay, totally understand that. But you did mention earlier that this matters to you because, you got penalized. You want to make sure you're having those cash value growth, and you like that, you get, 100K, but you're also reducing those market risks for you and your family. Do you do you feel like what option feels like the best of where you're at now? Is it still 1,000?
Yeah, because again, I have like it's not an issue. If it's if it's an obligation, I'm good. If it's
Okay,
not an obligation, like I'm not disciplined enough, I guess I would say, to put $1,000 a month away on my own and just
sure.
put it into any like I could start a Vanguard account or one of those types of accounts. I haven't done it because I procrastinate and it's not, something that I'm forced to do. I think this would force me to be responsible and do what I know I need to do anyway.
Sure. And does this feel like something that can generally help you move in that direction you want to go?
Hell yeah.
And why do you think it's important to take action now versus just maybe waiting a couple months?
Um Again, I feel like I've been thinking about this for, a few months now already. And I think I'm ready to move. I'm ready to I'm done wasting time, if that makes sense.
Sure. I agree. I totally agree. So just so you understand, Frank, how the qualifications work, they're not going to be no needles, no nurses. They're going to not come out pulling blood, right? But they're going to verify your social security number through the MIB
Okay.
report. That's the Medical Information Bureau. And they do that to cross-reference your prescription history with your social security number. And then they're also going to need a driver's license or state ID. I know this is probably not an issue for you because you're a truck driver, but they want to make sure there's no crazy red flags like DUI or speeding tickets. And last but not least, but the most important part is they will need your routing account number, not to charge
Okay.
anything today, but they need to verify there's no financial red flags. They need to make sure to know where to send the payment out, God forbid something happens to you for living benefits, but ultimately make sure that your name is tied to that account. And again, like I said, they don't charge anything today. So
Okay.
Frank, based on everything that we talked about, the protection, the growth, and especially what you shared about the getting rid of that market risk and having your income just come back, would it make sense to at least see if we can just get you qualified?
Yeah, for sure. I'm in.
Awesome, cool. Go ahead and grab your driver's license. I have your spelling for your legal name is Frank. Is that correct?
Correct.
Cool. And that's basically where I go from there, and then I close out the coverage, and then I'll circle back to annuity once I've already built that trust and closed that first sale.
All right, so we'll circle back to the new one in a second, but there are some questions in here I want you to hit on. One of them
Yeah.
is, do you go over the cash value estimates on the illustrations?
I do. So this was more of like this is more so like where before the slip. So right before I give those presentations. So this, how do I explain this a little bit easier? This is a script that you can use for basically final expense and whole life. It has the same flow. You can kind of do whatever you want with it in a way. But mostly for what I was, yes, I'm crank willing, I'm sharing my screen, I'm going over the illustration, same presentation, same flow, but it goes a little bit longer, like of, hey, here's your how much you're putting in per month. This is what your estimated return on your cash value is. Here's your benefit from day one, and then I pull up and it's like another 10 minutes, but yes, I do show an illustration.
And if I wanted you to show me, like in this scenario with me, and I'm talking
Yeah.
about like I need to start putting money away for retirement, would you show me taking some of that money out as set, at a certain age, and would you tell me how much that's going to be?
Yeah, depending on the conversations we've had and the questions that you've come across with me, right? I do show how the growth. And a lot of times though, majority of the clients, they're like in their 40s and they don't want to touch it for like 20, 30 years anyways. But I will
Yeah,
show them, like, hey, here's what we did. If you wanted to stop it at 65 and you want to take out X amount of income, this is what it would look like. And then, but I try, to be honest though, like I try and make things so simple my 8-year-old can understand because if you overcomplicate it,
yes,
you lose money, you lose cells. And I'd rather simplify it for what they're trying to do to where my 8-year-old can understand. Because if she can understand, then a client can understand,
that's
and then
right.
we can get complexity later on.
And you also even again when you were like, so which one of those sounded most appealing to you? I was like, the 1,000 a month. You didn't. A lot of agents will just be like, perfect, let's move. And Dylan, again, Doug, peeling back those layers of that onion. Why the 1,000? Like, tell me why this one appeals to you most. And I think that's super powerful because he's here. He's not like pushing me through as fast as possible to get to the next appointment. He's buckling us down. What's your persistency?
I was it went down a little bit because we had a little bit of bad lead batch, but I hover usually around 90, 94. Really kind of depending. Maybe I trickle sometimes to the 75 to 80 if the one care had like a little bit of a wonky thing that happened, but it goes right back up.
Yeah. I can see that just as much time as you spend on this small stuff that means almost everything. Okay.
To be honest, my presentations like it's 45 minutes max, maybe 30 minutes. And that's the golden thing is that like you make them feel cared and you just have conversations. You don't rush. So
Yeah, for sure. Okay. All right, there are some more questions, but these can be answered at the end. All right, so we wrapped up, we did the application. Let's circle back to the 401k that I have that I took a little bit out of that's just sitting there.
yeah. So I kind of with these conversations, they're very like they're winging because every client is different, right?
Of
So
course.
with this situation, I'd be like, hey, Frank, we got you wrapped up with your IUL, we got everything taken care of. Awesome. So now you're protected. I'm a little curious though, when you mentioned in the earlier, you said you had a 401k that's kind of just sitting there. Would you be open to me at least showing you how you can create that into a guaranteed income for life through like a pension method using a fixed index annuity, but also like not ever having to worry about losing money from the market losses on that?
Hell yeah.
Okay, cool. Let me just share my screen real quick. I'll show you what that looks like. But really quick, before I go into that, what's the rough like balance that you have sitting there?
I think there's 120,000 in there now. The
Okay,
last time I looked.
gotcha. So 120,000, and it's just sitting in what savings, 401k?
It's still sitting with the company I left in a
Okay.
401k.
Awesome. You have any plans for that in the next 17 years trying to pull it? You just kind of leaving it sit there and just want
To not lose it is my plan.
to lose it. Cool. So have you ever heard of fixed index annuity?
I mean, I've heard the term annuity. I don't know anything about it.
Gotcha. So you probably heard the term annuity back in the day where it's like these crazy products where like they variable and they kind of seem good, but they're probably not. So these are a little different. They came out a little bit while ago. They're called fixed index annuities. So think of
Okay.
it like 401k had a baby and turned it into a fixed index annuity where you have the same benefit as a 401k, same structure, stock market and everything, but they get rid of the risk of losing money. What
Okay.
is that?
I like
Does
that.
that Yep. So sorry, this is a little weird conversation for me because it's not it's a little-
We're all over the place. You're
so
killing it, by the way. So keep going.
thanks, man. So basically I'll go from there. So I'll go, cool. So Frank, 120K, basically it's such a quick conversation. It's so weird because I've already done all of in the script.
Yeah.
So it's basically like, cool. So we're gonna do the same thing we said before an IUL. We're gonna move your 401k into a fixed index annuity. We're gonna get you up to a 20% bonus. This is what the illustration looks like. All I need is your bank statements. And they're like, great. Like it really is like a very simple conversation once you build the trust. That's why I hold it till the end because it's like I have
Yeah,
all the
it's
information already. Like,
and but I'm so glad you because again, so my son is 24. He's been around this business forever since pretty much his whole life, and now he's selling insurance. But he gets like I think he finds money a good bit, but he rushes it because he gets so excited, which is understandable, by the way. Like all of
yeah,
y'all, when you start doing this and you find it, like you're gonna be on the edge of your seat. Pay attention. He got all the information he needed 20 minutes ago when I was telling him about it. But he ignored it, didn't ignore it. He just parked it on the side. And now he's already got me. I've already given him my banking information. I trust him enough to put $1,000 a month into an account. So when he comes back to me, I'm already at ease with Dylan. I like him already because I'm doing business with him. So with this one, yeah, it would be a lay down sale. But dude, honestly, how many of them are lay downs once you get to this point?
very a lot of them because I've already built the trust. And so every annuity I've done, I have not sold them an IUL or a final expense of term because they come to me looking for that. So I'm helping with that first, and
Mm-hmm.
then I'll give them other services. So I'm the type of person that I don't just do one, I do one, two, three, sometimes six policies on one call. Like yesterday, we did a $3.5 million IUL. So
Jiminy Christmas.
yeah, that's a big
And
one.
new guys and girls I like because I would do the same thing to them. Like I don't want to say I was the king of the one call one sit annuities, but I would find them in the home after I wrote their mortgage protection. I would write the annuity right then and there. Why
Mhm.
not? Now, when you're newer, until you get to the point where you understand it the way Dylan does, So just so let's do that. Let's just say you're not as experienced as you are, or when you were less experienced, how would you address that money and then get me on another call with maybe when an annuity specialist?
Yeah, good question. It's before I touch on that, I want to touch on what you're saying, the excitement, because it's hard, even for myself, when I hear 1,000 or like 1,000,000, you're like, you get super excited, but then you have to make sure, I call it commission breath, that when you're talking, it doesn't come off that you want the money because they'll pick up on that and then you'll lose the sale. I've lost plenty of sales because of commission breath.
For
But if
sure.
you're new, it's a simple conversation. Like once you've already say final expense, term, or anything like that, you might ask something like, "Hey, do you have anything that might act like life insurance, like a 401k or IRA?" And like, "Hey, have you ever thought about once you sold the clothes, sold them, final expense, whatever?" You might go, "Now, Frank, have you ever thought about possibly what you're going to do with that retirement that you have sitting there? Are you trying to make sure you have a guaranteed income for life? Are you trying to recoup a bonus on that? Are you trying to protect from probate or maybe put it in a trust? Like, what's your plan at retirement?"
I mean, honestly, Dylan, I don't know. And I think that's part of the reason I'm talking to you. That money's been sitting there for 6 years. It's just sitting there.
Gotcha. So it seems like it's probably a pretty important conversation to have, at least initially, see if we can do something with that money. So it's just not sitting there earning nothing in a savings account or in your retirement and possibly losing money if Trump says something crazy on TikTok and it tanks again, right?
Right. For sure.
Okay.
And he
So
definitely says a lot of crazy stuff. So I'm with you.
it definitely does. So what I would recommend, in my professional opinion, is why don't we schedule a time, maybe in a couple days. We'll make sure we'll get taking care of your policy first, and then we'll set up a time with our annuity team that can talk a lot more with the retirement. They're really good. They do this solely for them. They have a fiduciary duty. Maybe a quick 10-15 minute conversation. See if this even really makes sense for your retirement. And if it
Okay.
does, great. If not, I'll point you in a better direction. Sound fair?
Sounds fair to me.
Excellent. So you're going to get text confirmation. I'll put you in a three-way text with my annuity team, and then we'll book a quick calendar. How does Thursday at 1 p.m. look for you?
Should be good.
Okay. Now, when you say should be though, because I want to respect your time, but I also want to
Yeah.
respect my time and the new client. I do work on back-to-back appointments. I usually take about 30 to 40 calls a day for
Okay.
appointments. So, what day can you not give me a should or should work, but like, would you be able to be in front of a computer, sit down, and be present?
Well, I'm usually home by noon every day. I start my day at 3 a.m. and but if something goes wrong and on a run and you never know until you know. So, I mean, I guarantee 4 o'clock I'm home by. Even if
Okay.
something goes down, I'd say.
Cool. So let's do this because I don't want to call you right when you walk in the door and you're up at
Yeah.
3 a.m. So you're probably pretty tired. You want to see the family, maybe get a beer or something. Why don't we do like 4:15, 4:30, let you go get a drink and get some relaxation a little bit. And then I'll give you a call around then. And that gives me a little bit of free time and we can just knock this out real quick for you.
Sounds good to me.
Excellent. Looking forward to talking to you then.
Dude, this is so freaking good. Like the sure I should be there. He didn't let that slide either. Pay attention to his word tracks. And a lot of y'all have tried to record this. It's recorded. It will go up on our YouTube channel, FFL Nationals YouTube channel under the SRS playlist. Let me hit a few of these questions. It's 12:34. He rolled right through this, but I want to get to some of these. Um, you weren't you did kind of answer this for agent. You're not swapping out the 401k for an IUL, correct?
So, no, the only time that was yesterday's, and it was the very first one we've ever done. And the client, the big one, the client literally came to me going, "I don't care if I get tax penalized. I effing hate my 401k. I'm done with this. I want to put it in this because I want to be able to pull from it tax-free, penalty-free, and give myself income to use for business." I'm like, "Done. You already know what you're wanting. We're good." Like, it was a
For
little
sure.
bit easier, but yes, if someone, I have clients that come to me saying, "I want to move my 401k into an IUL," I immediately go, "We can talk about that." Typically, it doesn't work very well. I never say no, but I say we can definitely
Correct.
talk about that because it might make sense, but a lot of times it doesn't. But there are some other products that can help you with this, specifically designed for those lump sums. And then I show them monthly amounts on the IUL, and then I'll pivot again to the 401k showing a fixed index annuity.
Yeah. And that's huge because most of the times I don't it doesn't make sense. And the numbers are pretty simple to do. Like you know what I mean? Numbers are numbers. They don't
Yeah.
lie. And I think if you're running in that type of scenario, reach out to us and we'll pair you with someone that can absolutely, even Dylan can help you walk through that and see if it does make sense for your client. All right. So
Yep.
you use an IUL leads. If you find someone that doesn't qualify for an IUL or if it doesn't make sense to insure, what or how do you transition to the annuity concept and then move forward from there? So if you had asked me the health questions, I said, yeah, I had cancer three years ago. I'm clean now, but how would you
Yeah.
pivot?
I probably would not go simplified issue just because they're going to pull that and they're going to probably flag it even if it's been clear. So I usually go to National Life Group, but I'll set the precedent. So like, hey, Frank, just so you know, I know you used to have cancer. It was 3 years ago. A lot of times it can cause issues, but not cause issues. I've seen some of my clients where they got approved when they just had cancer a year ago, and I had other clients that did not get approved, just depending on your health record. So what
Sure.
I'm going to do is we're going to go through National Life Group. They've been around for 170 years. We're going to do this because they do a manual underwriting. So they will actually ask me questions about your diagnosis and what's going on. So I can accurately tell them what's going on. And a lot of times you get rated and you'll get coverage. So we'll have another conversation that takes about 2 weeks. And then I'll pivot from that. If they get declined there, then it's a different conversation. It's like, hey, great news. We got you approved with a policy. It's not going to be the full IUL. We're going to start you on our starter IUL. So what that is our final expense whole life policy. It's still going to be permanent. It'll grow a little bit of cash value, but ultimately in a year, we're going to have a conversation again. We're going to do reviews with you. So, because if your health changes, we can convert that and do a 1035 exchange and move it into an IUL for you and increase your coverage at the same cost. And they're usually really happy because if you just tell the truth and you're just honest with them, they might get upset at the outcome, but they're still getting something. You just have to know how to
Yeah.
pivot.
Do you ever use that flex pay annuity with NLG, the monthly funded one? Is it flex pay? What is it called?
Yeah,
I can't
Flex
remember.
Life.
But
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah,
Um,
that's my main go-to with them actually, because you can do so many things with that. You can have no payments too. I have a client that we did a 50,000 lump sum into a single premium deposit account, and every year it's giving them a 4% return, and every year that's paying their IUL yearly.
oh, nice.
Yeah.
Very good. Um, Simple question. What are the tax like to roll over 401k or 403b to annuity?
Oh, that's a tax question. That's not me. So if someone asks me that, I always say, "Hey, I can give you some exact advice. I'm not a tax expert, so I can't legally give you this advice, but it's going to be whatever your taxable income is and whatever that penalty is. So usually the penalty is like 10%, and then whatever your taxable income. So a lot of people
To
can lose a
rollover.
1030.
It's a
Oh,
rollover. The rollover. Yeah,
oh,
yeah.
so like to annuity?
Yeah.
Oh, there isn't any. It's tax-free, penalty-free as long as it doesn't touch them. So it goes from one account to say NLG or FIA. It's a non-qualified event, which means you don't get taxed or penalized. It just moves over and then they just don't touch it like their 401k. That's why it's the simplest product you ever do. It's just move it from this one account to the basic same account, get a bonus, guaranteed income. Done. Like,
Done. All right. So I'm going to get these last two questions and we'll wrap it up. IUL, do you touch on the ability to add extra funds annually without becoming a mech?
yes. So yes and no. It depends. So there's a lot, as you know, Frank, there's a lot of yes and no's with IULs and
Yep.
annuities because it's all situation based. So like, for instance, if they're paying 100, $200 a month, I'm probably not going to be talking about overfunding it. I always tell them though, if they want to do more than like $200 a month, please give me a call first so we can make sure we can read that the restructure or something. I just leave it simple because I want them to call me first, not do it on their own anyways. If it's for something like Frank doing $1,000 a month, you bet you're a sweet person. I'm going to be talking a little bit more on that. And it's like not a big deal. It's because if I go through the mech, it gets complicated quickly and then
Yes.
people lose control. So I go, hey, you can always overfund this. If you want to do, up to like 3 grand a month extra or whatever that may look like. I just do simple math. But if you want to go over that, please just give me a call. We do yearly reviews. I just want to make sure nothing gets taxed or penalized. I like to keep it structured within life insurance policy. So just give me a call and we can make sure everything makes sense. If you want to do more than that.
For
Just
sure.
super simple. Yeah.
You start using words like mech and trying to explain that, it confuses people. Confused people do nothing. So I love that answer. All right. Last one I'm going to answer. And if I didn't get your questions, I'm sorry. $3.5 million IUL. What does that look like? Is it a $3.5 million lump sum and then monthly contributions? How did you structure that?
It's a $3.5 million lump sum with 120,000 a year annual contributions for life.
Mm.
He makes 400K a month in just dividends, not including his 500K income.
Do you mind sharing with everybody what the commission's going to be like on that deal?
845,000. And then we're doing I found out in that same call, he had two variable annuities for 20 years, and we're going to move those into a fixed index annuity. So that'll be another 600K annuity rollover too. So total
Unbelievable.
900.
Unbelievable.
It's like a
Unbelievable.
$52 million death benefit. So it's definitely underwriting. We'll see how that goes.
That is great. Well, congratulations on that deal. Those deals don't come around often. I mean,
Yeah, no, absolutely.
it's more than likely once a lifetime deal, but they do come around. So guys, just ask the questions and you never know what you run into. Dylan, this was incredible. Do you have anything you want to wrap up with?
Yeah, the one last thing I'll put this way. Yeah, that sells amazing, but it still has to go through underwriting, right? So nothing's solidified or set in stone yet. But if it doesn't go through, even if it does, you have to be excited. I'm happy about it because I was able to flashback 3 months ago. I was just learning how to do annuities like a year ago, and I made it my goal of like, hey, I learned IULs, and I'm going to learn everything I can about annuities and master that craft. And I've had some conversations with like 200K annuities I didn't get, 300K. But now that I'm learning and mastering and just keeping with it, I was able to do 300K this year, another 100K. I have a 1.2 million that's about to be funded here next month. And now we have this one. And it's just knowing that even if you don't get that sell, just the fun that you had to have, be like, dang, I didn't get this, but like I now have the skill set to talk about $4 to $5 million rollovers without having commission breath. It's only a matter of time until it
Only a
happens.
matter of time. Dude, that's so huge. And it gives you the confidence that you did it, even though it did. That's not on you that he didn't qualify. Like you did everything you were supposed to do. The guy trusted you enough to do what he's doing. And so I agree with you 100%, man. Dylan, I'm excited for you. It's just
Thank
because you're literally just getting started and you're killing it. So guys, give Dylan a round of applause on the screen. Do how you do it with those little things that pop up. I think that's pretty cool. And I will get this to our team, and they'll get it edited, cut, and put on YouTube. Hopefully by tomorrow, if not by Monday or Tuesday. But it'll go up. And guys, I go back and rewatch this a few times. It was fantastic. So thank you so much, Dylan.
You're so welcome. Thanks for having me. It was a pleasure. Thank you, everybody.
You got it. Take care, guys. Have a great rest of your week. Appreciate y'all. Bye.